Hello everyone. This is Alien Reddit Stories, where I tell alien stories off of Reddit. I will leave the link for the video in the description. Let's just get into it. My father and I have seen two large, unidentifiable flying objects over Mount Macedon in central Victoria, sometime around 94 to 95. I personally had dismissed this sighting as some sort of vivid dream until 4 years ago, when I decided to ask my dad what it was. Bracket, if it had happened, close bracket. He described what we had both seen in detail without me leading him. I've always been interested in UFOs, though, and thought that maybe this interest combined with a child's imagination has somehow allowed me to manifest this story, this memory of what I saw. Maybe I had told my dad this many years earlier and he was humoring me, or fostering my imagination. What is more believable? Well, it could be both. Children are encourageable, and you do want to encourage that kind of abstract thinking. But I digress. I'd kept it to myself for all these years. Maybe it was a dream. But then I remember being back at school on Monday, expecting everyone to be talking about it. I watched the news, looked in the paper, and heard nothing. I know what the brain is capable of in regards to seeing what we want to see. And over time, our memories of events can change, even completely. That is true. Memories are fluid, they're not solid. This is not campfire story, or even a conversation piece for me, because I cannot ever be 100% sure of what it was, only what I saw. Are we really ever sure of anything, my friend? But I digress. I remember it as the following. Early afternoon, sometime around 94 to 95, the era of Tupac, but I digress. Not sure what month, but the weather was warm, so I'm guessing between October through March. Looking out of the kitchen window from our property on the Campaspe River, west of Woodend, my dad and I saw a large silver cigar-shaped object floating over Mount Macedon, just south of the giant cross, not moving, but just hanging in the sky. First thoughts were that it was a replica, large blimp like the old hydrogen ones of the early 20th century. So we both watched and studied it for a minute before going outside for a more clear look. Outside, we saw nothing extending from its shape, no props, no engines, hanging cabin, windows, or anything to give us an idea what it was. It then became apparent it wasn't a huge balloon or anything inflated, because it was so still. There were a couple of clouds, small clouds, in an otherwise clear blue sky that were just passing by above the mountain, so it appeared completely affected by the wind. My dad then went inside to get my mom and sister and find his camera. I stayed and watched. Sometime after he left, I was still looking at it, trying to work out what it was, when another one of these objects just materialized, for lack of a better word, in the small cloud, I think he meant. Yeah, not could, cloud above and behind the first object. Well, that's terrifying. I saw this because it looked the same as the first object, but ever so slightly smaller. It also did not materialize completely in the cloud, as it was larger and the left side was uncovered when this happened. These clouds were also light and wispy and not fluffy and large, so you could partially see through them in some places. In other words, I could say that this other object did not move into view or come from anywhere. It appeared to materialize out of the air gradually, but quickly, in about a second. After this, I became very excited because this was now something I did not believe was possible, and I witnessing something truly unknown. It was then, a few seconds later, both objects instantly accelerated, traveling to the east, the approximate direction I was looking, and slightly skywards. This was at such a speed that both objects vanished into the distance in less than half a second, getting smaller as they traveled. I then headed back towards the house to see if the rest of the family had witnessed this just as they were all coming out. Dad, with camera in hand, they did not see the object and missed them flying off. We kept looking to see if anything else would happen, but saw nothing further than that day. So I know what my dad and I saw, but was astounded that nobody else had seen it. It was huge, and Mount Macedon is a landmark. I don't know where this mountain is. I don't even know where it is, to be honest. You guys look it up. I don't see a country name. Why no other way? Okay. It was okay. I think. And Mount Macedon is a landmark. So why no other witnesses? Okay, so why was there no other witnesses? I think he meant to say. My dad and I were about 10 k's from this object. Okay, yeah. And it had been less than 300 meters in size. It was huge and much closer to the town of Macedon, completely unmissable. I think this might be in Europe somewhere. Macedonia, maybe. Oh, Mount Macedon sounds like Macedonia. Hey, there we go. And that's why I can never really be sure. I won't be drawn into trying to convince people that these are real. But I also know people who have witnessed and have had evidence of the unexplained, but choose to keep it to themselves. And they're close friends for a variety of reasons. Sorry for the wall of text. This is the first time I've typed this up. TLDR, people have seen things which defy explanation, but only believe what you have seen with your own eyes. And even always remain skeptical of the unknown. Well, that was a rather interesting story. And yeah, thank you for that contribution. Trying to grow this channel, so if you want to go ahead and hit the alien subscribe button, the Reddit like button, and crush that stories alarm button to keep updated, that would really help me. You don't have to at all. I'm not, you don't owe me your time, and I'm very, very glad you actually spent this time with me, so I'm humbled, and for that I thank you. And I'm going to leave my email in the description so you guys can send a story if you have one. And I'll see you guys next time on Alien Reddit Stories.